What's up, guys? I'm your host, Lucie, and this is Eventually It All Connects. This is Alexandra.
Okay. Yes.
This is Alexandra.
Hi.
I met her at church. It was this year. Probably met you this year.
Yeah. No?
That's so weird. Yeah, it's this year.
Yeah, I was missing in action last year. I was.
That's actually crazy, because it doesn't even feel like we met this year. But yeah, so I met at church. But yeah, so what I normally do in the beginning of the episodes is I ask someone the same question for everyone. And the question is there a time in your life where you didn't know it then, but are now realizing that eventually it all connects to today?
Yes, there was. But the question is, how long can the story be? Is there like a cap on the time?
Just summarize it.
Okay. It starts in 2019 though, like summer of 2019.
Okay.
Backstory is that my school was it broke people's dreams, and I had gone to Canada, spent this amazing summer with my sister, and then I got dumped over a text message. So I went back to China, and I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to leave. I want to go to Canada. I want to start a new degree.
Yeah.
And I got into a school, and Canada is notorious for not giving people visas, for student visas. They're very difficult.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, you know what, God, I'm going to pray. I prayed. I had this little montage vision thing in my head of like a little girl and a man that was helping her, like cross over all these hurdles and obstacles. And I was like, God is saying that go to Canada and I will help you. I was ready. I applied for the visa. They rejected me. Also, it was COVID time, so they were just like, we're not even opening the borders, so please leave us alone.
Don't even try.
They said don't even try. I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna stay in China until I finish this degree. I might not even use it. End up staying in China for an extra year and a half after I finished my degree. And then I got scammed, and a lot of other things happened, and life was really hard, and it was very dark. And then I came back to Tanzania. Sorry, why did I say China? I came back to Tanzania, and again, life was really hard. And things that I thought were going to happen did not happen. And then eventually they did. And a few days ago, I think like a few weeks ago, I was thinking about it. And like I remember the little montage that I saw, and God was like, remember that? Remember how you were like, this is about Canada? It's not. It wasn't about Canada. It was about just life. You see how I held you? You see how I carried you those times when you didn't even carry yourself? And I was like, you know what? Like, wait a minute. It makes sense. It does. Okay. So yeah, eventually it did all connect, even though I connected it to a completely different story.
Yeah.
But no, he was like, it was this one. You see this one that you're living out right now?
This is the one that
this is what the one that I was
foreshadowing.
Yes, this is the one. So I was like, my bad.
Wrong.
My bad. So yeah, eventually it did connect.
That's crazy. But it's interesting because even with those things, because I've had those moments a lot of times where I'm just like, oh yeah, God is either teaching me this thing or God is saying this about this situation. God would be like, no,
that wasn't what I was talking about.
I was talking about this.
No, yes.
So that's different from what other people have said so far. So that's really, it's nice to hear it from that sort of perspective
It was crazy. It was
God
like
telling
years.
you stuff.
I'm like, okay, I know you like to foreshadow things, God, but damn.
It's like, did you just have to do that?
You don't have to go that far, but it's fine.
It's like, it's okay. But yeah, that's really interesting. Actually, it's probably my favorite story that I've heard so far. I'm not gonna lie.
Stop it.
But yeah, so today's topic is identity.
Girl.
Which, again, I say this about all the topics I talk about, but I'm like, I feel like this is one of the few that people definitely do struggle with, is finding their own identity and finding who they are. If you're listening on the audio, she's giving me
widening my eyes. Just
she's giving me a look.
The look.
But yeah, and it's definitely something I've struggled with for a while. Because I've just been so confused. I'm like, who am I? What am I doing? What have I done? What am I going to do? But yeah, I guess,
like,
again,
what am I made for?
What's my purpose?
Who even are you?
Literally.
Yes.
But yeah, so the first question that I have is what does it mean to be authentic in today's world? And do you think it's becoming harder or easier to express one's true self?
That's the thing. I don't even know what authenticity means anymore. Because I feel like just last week, like even before, because you told me the topic on Sunday. And then I was like, that's really funny. Because on Friday, I was having an identity crisis.
This is why you were supposed to be
gosh.
the one. This is why the Holy Spirit was like, talk about this.
Honestly,
This
like,
ain't
God,
you.
who am I? What am I doing here? Obviously, like, you have all these plans in your head. It's like, this is going to happen at this time. And by the time I'm this age, I'm going to be here. And then you're not there. So you're like, who am I? If I haven't fulfilled all these things, am I, like, what am I even doing?
Yeah, you feel
What's happening?
useless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also, just being authentic in today's world, I feel like it's so hard. Because back in the day, because I talked to my mom like on Sunday, I think. Yeah, I was talking to her on Sunday. And like, you hear the way older people will talk, and they're like so sure of themselves. And they were so sure of themselves even as kids, where they're like, oh yeah, I was very hard-headed. Like, if I said no about something, that was it. But nowadays, it's like, you're saying no, it's not even that deep. You're saying no, like, everybody's doing it. Just go ahead. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. So it's very hard to be your authentic self. You try to be your authentic self, and then it's like,
Is this good enough?
this is kind of not very cool.
Trying to follow
Exactly.
the trend, basically.
You try to follow the trend, and then when you're going your own path, it's just like, why you gotta be so weird, man?
Yeah.
Why you gotta do that all the time? So you end up pushing yourself into this mold. I don't know if you've seen like those little videos of like a circle guy in a square world, and I don't know if you've seen that before.
I don't know.
And he's like like all the square guys are like passing through this thing, and then he cuts all his little curved edges, and then he gets to a point where he needs to go through a hole that is circle size, and he can't pass through it anymore because he's cut himself up to shape himself into the identity of what everybody else is. But he was created to go through that circle shaped hole, and now he can't do it. And I feel like that's what we do. We cut aside pieces of ourselves in order to fit this mold. And it's like, no, you don't need to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
We need more people who are individuals,
Need
because
different
we
people.
need different ideas. So it's really hard.
Let's need the balance of everyone
We
bringing
do.
their own different ideas in this world. Otherwise, if
We
we're all
do.
the same and all had the same ideas,
Exactly.
that would be, first of all, very boring. You'd be like, okay, you think like me, now I have nothing to...
Exactly. But that's what we do these days.
That's true.
Even like the TikTok trends, like you'll see one, and it's like everybody's doing it suddenly. And it's like, why, guys? Please come
Do
on.
something else.
Come on,
Be unique.
please.
No, because I think even with me, like, I've sort of like realized that, and I think even myself, I've sort of grown up actually it being hard to find my own identity or be authentic.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like you said, like everyone's just trying to be cool or trying to follow the trend or trying to be like, okay, let me fit in into something that I'm not
Yeah.
supposed to fit into. So being someone that one was a people pleaser growing up, still kind of I'm getting better with it.
Girl, same. Same. Let's just doing a little finger thing. Same, girl. Same.
But I remember it was like, it got bad to a point that if I did not have what other people are having, I would get so mad, like upset. And I mean, I wouldn't like show it, like I wouldn't go like cry to my parents, like, why don't I have this,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But like, my mental health like would just
I get
be
that.
horrible, just because I want to fit in
Mm.
into what society think is cool during that time. And the thing is that trends come and go.
It's not that deep.
It's really not.
It's really not
you could
that
be
deep.
like, oh, let me get into this trend, and then
You find that you hate it.
not even hate it. It's gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
And you're just like, that's it.
It wasn't even that great.
Also that is, and then, or it's like one of those things where people are like scared. It's like a trend. Let's say a trend comes out and you're not into it then, but then let's say you're into it once it leaves, and you actually like it, and then people be like, well, that was so last year, that was so cheap. I'm like, why? I'm like, no. I mean, if I like it now, even though you guys liked it then, it's okay if I like it now.
I feel like as you get older, you don't care anymore.
You really
You just don't care. I remember I had this English teacher who was like, yeah, I just don't care what people say about me anymore. Like, she'll have kids who are like, why are you so old for English? She's like, because I've lived life. That's why I've lived a great life. I'm fine. You can call me old and wrinkled. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I will accept it.
I accept it because I've earned these scars, these wrinkles.
They've
I've
been
lived
through a lot.
Yes.
That
So
you don't
as
know
you get
about.
older, it's just like, you know what? None of this matters.
It really
It's
doesn't.
all just gonna come back around anyway.
Yeah.
At some point.
But it is, I mean, it is kind of, especially with social media and stuff, it is really hard to be your authentic self because you also have that fear in the back of your mind. Again, with me being sort of a people pleaser, you have that fear in the back of your mind. It's like, what is someone going to say about this? Or what is someone going to say with me dressing this way? Or someone's going to be like, oh, this person's weird because they're posting this. Or especially if someone who's like in the YouTube world, like saying things and posting videos, that's even more
You
scary.
find yourself making an apology video in like
just a
seconds.
second, like literally just because you've offended someone.
Honestly, and it's just like, but
It's not okay. There's this one thing I actually remember where okay, so one example with sort of something that was trending that I sort of came to like later on.
yeah.
But I came to like it because of a reason. So I think it was in 2016 or 17?
Oh, that's
Those we're old.
Oh my gosh, that's a decade ago. Oh.
We're old.
Oh.
But there was a time where like I feel like skinny jeans and crop tops were a thing.
Ah, the skinny jeans.
And with crop tops, not just with the crop tops.
You were brave back then.
And so
You were.
during that time, like I was very, very insecure about my body. So I would never wear crop tops. Like if I wore a crop top, I wore like a shirt underneath
Yeah.
to hide that part. So I remember, like I think it was when I came back in like 2019 or 2020, when I started like gaining a bit more confidence in my body. I was like, let me just like sort of try crop tops, and then like I tried one a few times. I'm like, I actually feel like I feel confident in this.
This is my
like
vibe.
I like this.
Yeah.
Like what? Like to a point, like even if you scroll on my TikTok, like as far as like most of my TikToks I'm like wearing crop tops. But it's like, you know what? I can wear a crop top and make a video and post it, and I feel very confident in myself.
As you should.
And so it's just one of those things where it's like something that was like even during the time that I liked it, it like wasn't really a thing anymore because fashion had already changed. I feel like fashion changes
is
every
very personable. Plus, there's
No, it
fast
is.
fashion these days, and like a trend that was in yesterday is suddenly over. It's like a 2-week thing. It's like a 2-week cycle.
hello?
It's ridiculous.
You didn't even give me time.
It's ridiculous. You even give me time. Like my order just arrived, guys. Come on.
Literally, it makes no sense. But it's just stuff like that. I think I've come to even like realize that I'm like, you know what, Joanne, if you say, let me keep up, like follow these trends, I will literally be stressed following these trends.
You will be broke.
I will be like, I
have
don't
money.
want.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, you follow these things, like, I don't even like this like that. But because this is where things are going, let me just go with the water. Let me just go with the flow.
Yeah.
There's a thing. Have you heard the saying, only dead fish go with the flow?
I think I have, but I
Yeah.
haven't heard a reason. That's actually a really good saying.
Only dead fish go with the flow. Other fish usually swim against the flow.
Yeah.
So if you're going, girl,
You're dead.
you should evaluate yourself.
You should. But yeah, so I mean, even with the question of like it being harder or easier, I feel like it depends with how you see yourself. Because for some people, like, yeah, it's way harder but it's only harder because you're trying to keep up with today's world and you're trying to be in the trend. But for people who don't really care as much, I feel like it's just easier to express yourself. Because like, you know what? If they like me, cool. If they don't, I'm not here for you.
But it also depends on how you define yourself. Because if you're a person that's like, social media, whatever. But then the people around you might still be a very big voice that affects the way that you see yourself.
That's true.
And it's hard. Because, like, I don't know, just being a Tanzanian girl child, that in itself, it's like it's an identity in itself. Like, you carry this little... Like, you carry this thing on your shoulders that you don't really want to carry.
Add on going to international school and speaking very fluent English and going abroad.
So you have this identity of like, I'm Tutakishua. And it's like, but that's not who I am.
It's not who I try to be.
Like, I'm
Not even
sorry I speak with accented Swahili, but I'm trying. I promise.
It's like I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's like I wasn't.
I didn't choose
I
this
didn't-
life.
I
This
didn't-
life chose me.
I didn't choose to go to a good international school.
It chose
That
me.
my parents decided that, not me. And I mean, again, I'm not blaming my parents for that. I'm like, I'm very glad and happy that they took me to international school because it gave me a lot of exposure.
But now
like-
it's like, why does it give me this title that I don't even want, guys?
Or it's very unnecessary. Not even
It
I don't
is.
even want.
It's not.
Very unnecessary. But yeah, so now going into, because you're talking about like Tanzania and whatever, how does community shape your identity?
Oh, girl. That's really hard because just as a whole, I think I've always lived under the identity that other people have made for me. Like initially it was like, oh my gosh, my identity was that I was, because my older sister's name, she's Terry. She's like, Terry's little sister. Because I went to the same school as her. It's like, oh my gosh, Terry's little sister.
Dude.
Terry's little sister. I'm just like, okay. I have a name, first of all. That's it. But it's like, no, that was my identity for like the longest time.
Dude.
So I was just like, oh, okay. Okay. That's fine. I love my sister though. Terry, if you're listening, I love you. But that was for the longest time, for like a good, I don't know, 10 years of my life. It's like Terry's little sister. Did you see her? And they look the exact same. Twins. Oh my. Okay.
You're like, no.
Okay.
I don't want to know. Actually, funny enough you say that. I saw this, I don't know if you saw that I posted in the story, but I saw this reel where it was just like, I don't know, I forgot what it said, but I tagged Victoria in it because Victoria gets it a lot. But it's like something
Being
about
the
like,
younger sibling. Oh.
being the younger sibling. It's like, oh, are you so-and-so's little sister?
Oh my gosh.
So I literally told us like, first of all, I'm like, I know she gets it a lot, especially like even now there. It's like, oh, that's Gervis' little sister because Gervis is known.
Like, but I'm a person
It's
of
like,
my
hello.
own.
And so I even like when I was talking to her about it, I'm just like, that was literally me at school. Like, because I'm only like 3 years younger than my brother. And so we were in the same school for a long period of time. And so, I mean, people wouldn't really like, couldn't tell that we're siblings because we didn't look alike or we don't look alike. But it's like, I think once they know, like the people who like know him, or like, let's say he said like, hey, he has
that
a
just
sister.
becomes your title.
It's like, oh, you're David's little sister.
That
Oh,
just
it's
becomes your title.
David's little sister. Oh, like David's little. I'm just like, I mean, like you said, like I love my brother.
I'm
but
Joanne.
it's like
Nice to meet you.
oh, you know, it's actually no, it's even like, because even sometimes like I get kind of like, I don't know, there was times where I used to be proud because my brother was like such an amazing person. Like people loved him. Like he was very lovable at school. And so I used to be proud, like, of being his little sister. I'm like, yeah, I'm his little sister. That's that person. I'm related to him. But so there was even times where, like, they would, like, talk to me or whatever. And then I don't even know how it'd pop up. Or, like, I'd rather just say it randomly. But I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm David's little sister. And like, oh, my gosh, no way. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's me. So it's like there are times where, like, I would embrace it. But there are times where it's like, when people, like, when you don't really want them to know in a sense, or like not even you don't want them to know, but it's like, it's not something I bring up first off.
Yeah.
Like, be like, oh, by the way, or be like, hey, I'm David's little sister. I'm Joanne, David's little sister. So it's like, when they just like bring it up from the get, I'm like, oh, are you David's little sister? I'm just like,
Yes.
yep, that's me.
But also, I have like a lot of other things about me. Would you like to know?
There's also that, because it's like,
Would you?
do you just want to know me as David's little sister, or do you actually want to get to know me?
Yeah.
I think that's where the dilemma is. It's like, I don't know whether you actually want to get to know me, or you're just saying that just because you can. But yeah, so this question is it's like 30 seconds. First of all, should I just, because I was gonna go to the next question, but I only have 30 seconds.
You should pause and restart it.
I'm waiting for this time to run out. I should include this in hi vlog, because I think I'm gonna include this in the vlog. Hi vlog.
We're
Hope you're
just
doing well.
awkwardly sitting here, waiting for the time to
Waiting
run
for
out.
the time to go before we continue.
Yeah.
So the other part of that question was, what role does belonging play in how you see yourself?
Can you rephrase that?
You know, I'm even trying to think of the question. Just like, wait,
I'm like,
how
what does
would I-
that even mean?
I'm like, how would I even answer this? What role does belonging play in how you see yourself? So, like, in belonging, like, I think trying to fit in, sort of. What role does that play in how, like, you see who
Like
you
me
are?
personally or generally?
Well, you personally, if you.
Ask the question again. Sorry.
What?
I don't know what's wrong with my brain right now. It's like it's buffering.
It's trying to think. It's loading. What role does fitting in play in how you see yourself?
I think it plays a big role. Yeah, it plays a really big role because if you fail to fit in, you're like, I don't know. It feels like maybe who you're trying to be or who you think you are, it's not good enough. I feel like that's a very big thing. Like, maybe you work somewhere and, like, you see everybody else is, like, really sociable. And then, like, yeah, you would like to talk to other... Because I have that. Like, I don't like to approach people. We talked about this before the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't like to approach people. So
Yeah.
sometimes, like, you'll hear people and they're talking to each other and they're very sociable with each other. And then, less so with you. So you're like, do I not belong here? Like, is who I am too much or is it too little? So it plays a much bigger role than we realize because a lot of sometimes we don't even realize the things that we do, it's in order for people to like us. Like we try to reshape who we are in order for people to like us. Because even when I was in China, like I had this whole realization thing of I have a face that people sometimes find very hard to approach. And
I wish I had that, by the way. That'd be nice.
it's not always fun. It's not always fun. But then I also realized that it's not my job to soften my face because it's my face. What do you want me to do? You want me to just smile? I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not who I am. Like my dad is like that. My sister's like that. They smile at everyone. But me, I am my mother's daughter. I will smile at you when you smile at me.
Yeah.
I will smile. I will laugh when there's something to laugh at. Like the whole thing of, oh my gosh, someone said something and it's like, if immediately laughter, I'm just like, what is funny? What is happening right now? And I feel like that's why sometimes with the Americans, I'm just like, why are you doing the polite laughter thing? It's
If you didn't find it funny, you don't laugh.
it's a bit uncomfortable actually. So yeah, there's that whole thing. But then I was also just like, you know what? This is who I am. It might not, like, my identity isn't necessarily my face, but this is who I am. I'm a more reserved person. I don't need to change that in order for people to like me. The people that will approach me and that I will reciprocate that effort, that's enough.
That's all that matters.
That's enough.
Because I think you come to realize who your, I don't know if it's true friends or people that actually need to, like, want to be in your life. You come to realize them through, like, let's say you being who you are. Because it's like, okay, I'm being who I am, and this person likes me for that. So, like, it's just great to know that you can just be yourself. Because you can only fake yourself for a while. Like,
It's
you
exhausting.
can't. It's a lot of work, and you can't do it for a long period of time. So it's like, even with me, like, whenever, like, I meet people, like, okay, there's a different, because I do say that I am shy, and like whenever I meet, like, I'm kind of reserved, but that's not because I'm trying to, like, hide who I am. It's more of I'm trying to, what's the word, is it read the room
Yes.
before I sort of put myself out there. And even if, like, let's say the room is, like, sort of quiet and shy, I mean, I will probably, like, try and match that, but it's not because I'm trying to hide myself. It's more of like, okay, this is not the moment to be myself.
I get that. Because I admire people that, like, they walk into a quiet room and, like, they bring the room to life. Like, I admire that. But I'm like, that's just never going to be me.
There's a time and place for that.
It's not me. I can be that person, like, with my friends, the people that are closest to me. But just, like, a random room, I'm like, you know what? That's who you are. And again, you fall into the idea that that's your identity now. But
It's not.
it's not.
It's really not. But yeah, I actually like this one, and I'm curious to hear your opinion. But do you think labels help or hinder our understanding of identity? Why or why not?
I think they hinder us a lot. Because again, I feel like I've worn so many identities in my life.
Me and you both.
Because there was, you are so and so's little sister, and then eventually when I got out from under that whole I'm Terry's little sister, I became the smart, quiet girl. And then at some point, I was now, like, when I got to university, it was like, okay, I was identified by my accent. the girl with the American accent. I'm just like, okay, cool. And then it became the girl with the hair. Oh yeah, she's the girl with the hair. And I'm just like, but that's not even like I'm more than all these things.
Yeah.
Because now I feel like when people identify you by a certain maybe attribute or physical thing, like that becomes what they know you about. That they don't necessarily attempt to get to know you beyond that. Because like I'll have conversations with people, right? And okay, maybe I didn't make the effort to talk to the person the way that I should have, but like the conversation will center around my hair, and I'm like, I don't mind answering these questions, but I'm so tired. I'm so tired of answering the same questions. Like, there's so much we could talk about.
Yeah.
But because of that label and the identity that they have now given you, that's all that you become to them. So it becomes a hindrance.
Yeah.
It prevents you or prevents other people from even getting to know you beyond what they have labeled you as.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, I do agree with that because it's like, it also, I probably think you mentioned it, but it also does really affect how you see yourself. Because now they're seeing it as that label. Now you're just, and then you get to a point where you're, I don't know if the word is accepting it or sort of like now that's all you see yourself as.
Yeah.
So like, let's say, like even what's like the shy, quiet girl, whatever. It's like you get told that so many times, and then you're like, that's all I am, and then you don't see yourself as something else. For instance, with me, I don't even know if it was a label. Probably was a label, but kind of wasn't. But I was big growing up, like almost my entire life, besides when I was like in preschool. And so I've had, I think, okay, that's where also that my insecurity, my body built up because, again, living in Tanzania, and people be like, oh, Manenepa, you need to lose weight. Oh,
People,
like,
it's like I haven't spoken to you in years, and that's the first thing you want to say to me.
And it gets really annoying. But I think, so like, even with like people saying that to me a lot, I think a part of me was just like, I've accepted it, but in a bad way.
Yeah.
But not only accepted it, I'm just like, that's all I am.
Yeah, that's
I'm just
all I'm ever going to be.
A big person.
Yeah.
And I'm not, like, it's like when someone doesn't see that, oh, maybe she's kind. Or not maybe, or like, oh, she's kind. Oh, she's caring. Oh, she's giving. Like, I don't know. It's just, for me, I'm just like, I do know those things, and I know that I am those, but it's like, that one thing that people are saying is so loud in your brain that you kind of push back or forget the other stuff that you also are, and the other stuff that are even way better than just your physical appearance. So I think
all these things are passing away, guys. Fix your eyes on
on the Lord's, exactly.
all things above.
This body, this is
Forget
temporary.
About it.
What did Pastor Maddie say on Sunday? She's saying, she's like, oh, this body is temporary. Like, this is, I have a whole new body.
Gym. Forget about all this stuff.
It doesn't matter. I'll have a new body in heaven, you guys.
But that's easier said than done.
Oh no, it really is.
It really is, because
it's
watch
not.
us tomorrow be like, hey, it's crazy.
You're just like, nah. But yeah, in what ways does your identity affect your daily decisions and interactions with others?
Unfortunately, right now, the biggest identity I wear is like a doctor. Yes, I am a medical doctor. So, like, that's the biggest thing I wear as an identity right now. So, I don't know. It's not that it affects me in a bad way, but I feel like if you're in certain jobs, you have to watch how you carry yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Or just, I don't know, let's talk about, like, the church. You're in the church, and then people are like, oh, that church girl is wearing like this really short skirt. So it affects the decisions that you make, not always in a bad way. Sometimes it's very good because you actually have to think critically and prevent yourself from doing stupid decisions. But I feel like sometimes it also puts you in a box. Sometimes not always in the best way, because it's like, okay, I may be a medical person, I only do these science things. But then you also remember that you enjoy art and you enjoy creating. But then you've now put yourself in this box of, I don't have the time to do all those other things that make me happy. And to have this creative outlet, all I can do is be a doctor. This is all I have. This is all I can invest my energy in. So it has its good and its bad. Because sometimes your identity makes you it makes you think critically, like, should I make this choice? Will it affect the way that people see me? Because I hate the fact that our identity, I don't know. Our identity is so centered around people, now that I think about it.
It really is.
That's terrible.
It's
so centered about how is this person going to perceive me? Ew. Ew.
Not you right now realizing that.
Ew. Sorry. Immediately no.
No, it's actually, it's crazy because, like, I don't know, because I feel like it, like, yeah, it does, like, affect, like, how we interact with others. Because, I mean, like you said, you just, now you're like, okay, how is this person going to see the way that I am?
Unfortunately.
Or I think to me it's just crazy because, like, even now, I think, like, even you realizing, like, now realizing, I'm just like, that's stupid.
Honestly.
That's really stupid. And I think one thing that I can definitely praise myself for is the more I've grown, actually it's more the more I've grown in Christ, the more I've not cared what other people think. Like, I still have moments where I'm just like, I get upset when people say things or when people think certain ways or whatever. But I think it helps me more to know that when I do think those things, I'm like, listen, Joanne,
none of this
these people are saying this, but this is what God says about you. And that's all that matters.
Honestly.
Because they don't know much, or they don't know, not even don't know any, like, they don't know anything.
Period, guys.
And they don't know who you, like, the only person that knows who you are is God.
Not
and
even you. You don't even truly know who you are. Because, like, you could change your mind about who you want to be from today into tomorrow.
Exactly. So that's why I'm just like, the only person that knows you better than yourself is God. And God sees the beginning from the end. And he sees who you are and who you're meant to be and what's good for you personally. And, like, I mean, again, he gives us his personalities for a reason. Like, each of us are created in his image, and he gives us,
which is why you shouldn't be a circle trying to fit into a square world. You see, it all eventually it all connects. Eventually.
So when you are out here saying, oh, I don't like the way I am, or like, oh, I'm this person saying this, so this is all I am, it's like, but God says there's something different. And he has plans for you. Like, even, like, the personality he gives us, it's like there's a reason why he's given us this personality. Maybe he wants us to impact the world in that sense. And he knows that, hey, if she's this way, she's going to help other people. Or even, not even just the world, just even, like, 1-2 people. Like, it could be like, hey, she's going to meet this one person in the future, and they're going to change and be inspired because of the way that she is. And so I think that's definitely one thing that's helped me out a lot with finding my identity and finding who I am, because I'm like, okay, I'm human. One, I have all these flaws. Like, I'm stubborn, I'm annoying sometimes, I'm a lot of things that are probably
indecisive and many times, girl.
And indecisive, I'm very indecisive. So it's like, I am human, I am these things, but that's not who God sees me as. God does not see me as stubborn, as annoying, as all those negative things that I'm thinking about myself. And he sees me as more than that. He sees me as, which is even, like, amazing to me. I'm like, I see myself as this, but God sees me more than that. He sees beyond what I see. And I was actually listening to a really, really nice sermon by Stephen Furtick. And what was it called? I think it was called God, something about, like, commas or something. I don't know what it is. I'll have to search it up, and
she'll probably link it.
I'll link it below. But he was just talking about how, so he had this whole sermon series of, like, how God called people's names twice in the Bible. So it's like Simon, Peter, Peter, or like Martha, Martha. So I think this one was more focused on Simon. But there was a part that kind of really stood out to me. And he was basically saying, he's like, people label, but God calls names. So it's like, someone may label who you are, but God is literally calling you by your name.
It's like Adam and Eve in the garden. Remember after they ate the fruit?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're naked. And he's like, who told you that? did you do?
So it's just, I think that has even stuck to me till now. It's just, especially like going through life, and I'm like, that's definitely why God wanted me to hear that sermon.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like going through life, if I ever feel like if someone ever labels me as like fat or annoying or stubborn or whatever, I'm like, you label, but God calls my name. He calls me by my name. You call me by that label, he calls me by my name. Not by that. He does not see labels.
Period.
But yeah.
Okay, period, guys.
But y'all should definitely, I'll definitely link it down below. You should definitely go watch it because it's helped me so much, especially in my like season of life that I'm in. But yeah, so going into, segue into that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting better at these segues.
Yes.
How does your faith shape your sense of identity, and what roles does your spiritual belief play in who you are?
It shaped my in a lot of ways, because I feel like at some point you just have to get to the point where you believe what God says about you.
Yeah,
Because if you don't, then it's like how you can have someone be like, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful every day. But then if inside you're like, nah, me, I'm ugly, guys. It's not going to stick.
It's definitely not
So
going to stick.
it has to come, like something has to change within you. You have to actually believe what God says about you. And once you start believing what God says about you, the transformation is crazy.
No, it actually is.
It's actually insane.
No, like
because
it's crazy.
me, I have a bit of a temper, like a tiny bit, small, tiny bit, little
Not
bit,
that much.
little, just small. But I have had so many moments in the past like 4 months because I've been like, God, please, give me the fruits of the spirits. But the funny thing about this Lord that we serve, he isn't just like, here, take the patience. No, he's like, take all these really difficult moments and prove that you have the patience. So, yeah, I'm trying to allow what he says about me to be louder. Because also the voices, I'm not crazy, but the voices are very loud.
No, they really are.
The voices they're so loud.
And you know what voices those are? The enemy.
Sneaky man. Sneaky. The voices are loud, like they shout. And then it reminds me of how, was it Elisha? Whichever one of them it was.
And those are actually two different people, which
I
is confusing.
cannot remember which one it was. It confused me. How they're trying to listen for God, and it was like, the wind came, but God was not in the wind, and the blah 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 came, and God was not in the blah blah blah, and then the little tiny whisper, and there was God. So it's trying to remind me, like that's how I know that my identity is not shaped by all these really loud voices, because the world is so loud.
Sure.
Like the world. There's points where the world is just like screaming at you. It's like, this is who you need to be. And it's like, you haven't arrived. You haven't done enough. You're not enough.
You're going down the wrong path.
You're going down the wrong path.
You're not following.
Why have you not arrived where you are meant to be? And it's like, but this is, it doesn't even matter. At the end, like, this is not what makes you who you are. What makes you who you are is how you love God and how you love your neighbor. That's what makes you, like, that is what it boils down to at the end of the day. All these other things, arbitrary, great to have. Are they necessary? No.
So like literally, even that's the whole like labeling yourself with your jobs or saying, like I am a doctor and putting that as your label. Not saying it's bad because it's like you are a doctor,
but it could also be taken away tomorrow, which is crazy. God, please don't joke me. I beg, please.
Don't do this. I'm not ready.
I'm not testing you. I'm just saying.
Just give me some time.
Yes, please.
But yeah, so it's just like stuff like that where it's like they are not bad, but like I think like we're talking about, it's like they're temporary. Like literally all these things on earth are temporary.
They're passing away.
Like literally, like they will not matter. Like it's, I think, this actually reminds me, I don't think it's not like it's a quote in the Bible, but it's by this, what's her name, a poet, like an old poet. And I think that that quote is stuck to me today because it's by Maya Angelou. But it's the one where it's like
Maya
people.
Angelou alive? Sorry,
I don't think she is.
I don't know.
But it says, it just talks about, it's like, so just to sort of continue off what I was saying is that quote has stuck to me because it's like, that is so true. Because like I could be doing all of this, I could be saying all of this, but it's like that won't matter because it matters how you make people feel.
Yeah, at the end of the day, how did you treat people?
How did you make them feel? So like, even like, let's say for instance with me and my grandpa passed away almost 10 years ago. Like, he did a lot of good stuff, and he's helped and impacted a lot of people. But like, when people remember him, they most remember how he made them feel.
Exactly. Same with my grandmother. They're not like, oh, she was, yeah, it's like, okay, she was a chef or whatever, but that's not who they remember her as. Like, oh, she's a person that if one of us was sick, she would come and see us. If we needed like money, she would give it to us. So
it's crazy.
Our actions are way more important than our identity, guys.
Speak louder than our words. But yeah, so what advice would you have for someone that's going through an identity crisis?
I don't know.
What
I
do you mean you
go
don't
through
know?
them every other week.
Even if it's pray and...
I know. It's crazy. So every other week I go through identity crisis. But you just need to, like, just be open with God. I think that's the biggest thing. Because sometimes we go through these identity crises and we carry them on our own. And we're just like, you know what? I'm going to figure it out. And that's how you end up at 40 with a midlife crisis. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But it's...
Be open.
It's true. But it's just one of those things where it's like... Don't base your identity off of what people are saying. Like, literally, if you're going to find your identity, find it in Christ. Find it in what he says about you.
Period.
In the Bible.
Because none of this matters.
None of it matters.
None of it matters.
But yeah, so the Bible verses I have for today comes from Genesis 1 verse 27. And it says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Like,
he did that.
God is like literally repeating.
He did that.
Notice how he's literally repeating, like, created him in his own image, created them in the image
did
God
that.
created them. Like, I don't know how people understand. I'm just like, he's trying to get a point across. Like,
only thing he created in his image was you.
It was you. Literally, he created you. Like, the God of the universe created you in his image. Like,
period.
What? Like, for me, I'm like, that's all I need. I don't care what anyone else says.
Mic drop.
God created me in his image.
Cut the cameras. Cut the
We're
cameras
done.
right now. That's all.
That's it. But yeah, so there's that, and then there's Jeremiah 1 verse 5, and it says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you. I appointed you in a prophet to the nations.
Listen.
You guys, before...
What more do you want? What more do you want?
Before he formed us in our mother's womb, he knew us.
It's crazy.
Before we were even thought about,
girl,
he knew us. Literally, my future children, he knows about them now.
Beautiful.
Like, I don't understand how.
Yeah,
like,
why do we turn to anything else to know our identity?
Because we're human. But
crazy, I know. It was a rhetorical question, but still.
But it's just
human
but
nature.
It's just, you have moments like that where you just like you read these verses and it's like, how did I think otherwise? Like, it just
how did I forget who I am?
It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so the last one is Psalm 139 verse 14.
Oh, yes.
And it says, I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. Like, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, I mean, if I don't hear it from people, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, it's honestly, God bless my boyfriend. But like, there's times where I do have sort of, like, I forget because, like, you know, you just have those moments where you just beat yourself up. And so every single time, like,
girl.
So every single
to the choir. Yes.
Every single time, like, I get those moments, like, I normally tell him, and I feel so bad for him because, like, he hears the same thing over and over again. But the one thing that I love about him is that he doesn't, like, dismiss it. Like, you thought of this. He's like, he literally, you know what? He literally every single time he reminds me about this verse. He's like, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, why are you saying anything otherwise about yourself when literally the Bible says that you're fearfully and wonderfully made? So it's like that, like, sort of helps rebuild my confidence in myself. But yeah, so if you didn't get anything out of this, just get the fact that the identity crisis that you're going through, first of all, it's valid because, again, you're human.
Yes.
But also try and find that identity in Christ, and trust me, you'll find so much peace and so much joy in not trying to fit into the world and not trying to be of the world and trying to be of hey, who did God create me to be? And who does he want me to be? Because he does want the best for you, and he wants you to prosper. Like Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Like, it's like, I am not trying to harm you. Or
the Bible is all you need.
No, really, it is. It really is.
Like, look at all that. Look at all that knowledge. That's like 4 verses.
But yeah, so that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Oh, I love being here. I don't even know if I said anything to actually had to do with the topic, but you know what?
No, it
was fun chit chat. Whether or not we actually talked about identity.
No, I mean,
Heaven
I
only
tried
knows.
to, but there's someone out there that you
Yeah.
definitely spoke to in anything that you've said, even if you don't see it. But there's someone watching this that's like, yes,
We
what she
pray
said.
so.
What she said, I'm gonna try and apply that to my life. But thank you so much, Alexandra, for coming through.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. If you're watching, thank you for listening. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.